All right, let's talk about Purdy or Pickett. Now, obviously, these guys are not directly playing against each other. They're going against the opposing defense. But it's interesting because Pickett was the highest drafted quarterback in last year's draft, and Purdy was literally the last pick of the draft. And the way that I see it is there's actually a lot of similarities between these two. I know statistically, if you look at Pickett, you're going to be like, oh, this guy's trash. But the reality is, if you watch him play, you're going to see a lot of similarities in how he gets it done to the way that Brock Purdy gets it done. So the question is who would you rather have? Everything even right now, who are you taking, Purdy or Pickett, and why?
So, I mean, Purdy, I think, has a bit of a stronger arm Pickett has a bit of a stronger arm than Purdy.
Yeah.
But I think Purdy is a little more mobile and uses his mobility better. But I'm going with Purdy, not just because I'm a 49er homer, but I'm a Kyle Shanahan fan. And Purdy is in Kyle Shanahan's system, and I think that makes quarterbacks better than what Pickett has over there. With
what if you could put Pickett in this system? Like, think about it like that. Who are you taking, Purdy or Pickett?
With these weapons?
With these weapons, this system, these weapons.
I take Pickett. I think the system. Okay. I think that the system gets. I think the system is really, really hard to overlook, man. And I think so many people look. I mean, I'm looking in the chat section, and the hate for Kyle Shanahan is just, immense right now. I think that a lot of content creators, a lot of people have just started piling on Kyle Shanahan, and we're getting to the point where people are just like, oh, I'm tired of the NFC Championship games. I'm tired of, not winning a ring and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's not what we were talking about. Over the last 20 years, there's been very few moments where we were talking about even in the championship picture. So to me, and, I think there's a stat that came out where it was showing, like, I think they were trying to promote the Thursday night game, and they were saying, like, Detroit and Kansas City were 2 and 3 when it came to how the system affected the defense, staying, like, defense in their mode, like making the defense scramble or whatever it was. And they were like, yeah, Detroit and Kansas City are 2 or 3 in their ability to make defenses react or whatever it was, which is like a really great stat. And by far, number one was the 49ers. It was like significant. So that's all Kyle Shanahan and his ability to scheme up and make defenses just have a hard time understanding what's going on with the 49ers offense. So I think that whomever is quarterback, and we've seen it, right? Especially when you add a weapon like CMC, like the level of, it makes the quarterback position so much easier for anybody in there. So I look at it more like this system makes anybody look that much better. And that's not a shot at Purdy. Like, I think Purdy runs this system better than anybody has in the Kyle Shanahan era. I think that Purdy runs this system better than any of them, but it's still the system, right? I think that you plug in any any kind of comparable or what's the word, like competent quarterback, and they're going to be able to look very, very successful in this system.
Right at the very end is the reason that I would lean towards Purdy in this situation, because I feel like if I'm starting a team, I really do think it's close. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh God, Pickett sucks." He doesn't. Like, he just watch him play, break down the all-22. Like, he's actually pretty good. I think there's a lot of similarities there. That being said, Purdy right now feels like an extension of Kyle Shanahan. Like, they're just, those two seem to be, now my mind may change throughout the course of this season. Maybe it doesn't look like it did last year, but the way it looked last year, it just seemed like those two are a perfect match. And I don't know that Pickett's talent isn't so overwhelmingly good that I would allow that to override him over Purdy. So I'm looking, to me, at two similar skill sets. I think Purdy's a little bit more agile. I think as a pure runner, Pickett might be a little bit better. His arm's a little bit better. Obviously, his size is there. But I know that Purdy mentally can handle the pressure of a playoff run. I don't know that yet about Pickett. And I don't know that Pickett could handle the pressure of Kyle Shanahan. That's another thing is for as great as Kyle Shanahan is, puts a lot of pressure on his quarterbacks. And he expects a lot from them. And we know that Purdy can shoulder that load. So I would have to go with Purdy over Pickett just because I know it can work. I'm not saying that Pickett couldn't, but with Kyle Shanahan in this system, knowing that it works, I would have to lean Purdy.